वेलकम टू येट अनदर एपिसोड ऑफ पीटी कोर बाय सेवियर एजुकेशन अब्रॉड। आज का वीडियो है राइटिंग एंड ईमेल के बारे में, विच इज़ अ न्यू क्वेश्चन टाइप इन पीटी कोर एंड इट इज़ इन राइटिंग सेक्शन. So we will discuss what this question looks like, इसकी basic requirements क्या हैं, and skills assessed, marking criteria, and we will also analyze a sample answer. So let's start the video. So PD core का जो writing section है उसमें second question is writing an email. So what are the requirements of this task? This task basically requires you to read the instructions given and you get 9 minutes to write an email depending on the situation given in the question. You have to write approximately 100 words for this task and the time is 9 minutes and the skills that are assessed for this particular question are writing. इस question में you get 9 minutes to execute the task and you have to write approximately 100 words. यहाँ पे आपकी writing skills assess की जाती हैं. So let's see what the question looks like. It looks like this. You will get some instructions. You will be given a situation. You have to read the situation and there will be 3 bullet points. These are the 3 themes which are given to you and you have to elaborate your ideas depending on these 3 themes. Now below the question there will be a box जहाँ पे आपको अपना answer provide करना है. You have to type in the answer and below that there will be 3 buttons, cut, copy, paste buttons will be there. There will be word counter as well and आपका timer भी आपको visible होगा on screen. Now how to analyze the question? सबसे पहले आपको question बहुत ध्यान से read करना है. क्वेश्चन में आपको सिचुएशन क्या गिवन है, यू हैव टू रीड दैट, यू हैव टू रीड द कीवर्ड्स इन द क्वेश्चन, देन फाइंड आउट हु द ईमेल नीड्स टू बी एड्रेस्ड टू. सो किसको ईमेल आप लिखने वाले हो, सो यू शुड नो दैट. पर्पस ऑफ द ईमेल, यू शुड बी वेरी क्लियर अबाउट द पर्पस ऑफ द ईमेल. Then you should read the bullet points very carefully because these are the details that are going to be there in the paragraphs in your email. जो भी आपके सपोर्टिंग आइडियाज़ होंगे वो इन थीम्स के बेसिस पे होंगे, इन 3 बुलेट पॉइंट्स के बेसिस पे होंगे. Now let's read and analyze this sample question on screen. Read the description of a situation, then write an email about the situation. You have 9 minutes. You should aim to write at least 100 words. Write using complete sentences. So these are the basic instructions which will be provided to you. Next is the situation. You are a local resident who has experienced an increase in traffic congestion in your neighborhood. Write an email to the local council expressing your concerns and making suggestions to improve the situation. Your ideas must come from the following 3 themes. So what are the 3 themes given to you? The location affected, reasons behind the problem, suggestions for improvement. So your email should contain the relevant ideas related to these 3 themes. You should include all the 3 themes, provide supporting ideas for description. So जो 3 themes हैं वो आपको ज़रूर include करनी है in your email. This is the requirement of the task. Now let's check the scoring parameters. You are given marks according to these criteria. So first is the content. Now in order to fetch full marks in content, you should address the topic. जिस topic के बारे में जो आपको situation दी गई है, you have to write about that. You should cover all the 3 bullet points and you should write clear purpose of the email. So these are very important. ये पियर्सन की वेबसाइट में भी क्लियरली मेंशन्ड है दैट यू हैव टू राइट रेलेवेंट टू द क्वेश्चन, टू द बुलेट पॉइंट्स मेंशन्ड. Now second criteria is the email conventions. Now what is email convention? Basically depending on the type of email you have to use the relevant language. अगर formal scenario आपको mention है, you have to use a formal tone and if it is an informal situation तो आपको accordingly language use करनी है. आपकी opening and closing salutation should also be with respect to the email. For example, if it is a formal situation, then you would open your letter by saying Dear Mr. Jones or Dear Sir/Ma'am. So depending on the question, अगर question में आपको name mentioned है and if it is your colleague or landlord or your teacher, professor, somebody you know, so you can use the surname. For example, Dear Mr. Jones. अगर आप local council में letter लिख रहे हो या एक university को address कर रहे हो, editor को address कर रहे हो, so you can also write Dear Sir or Ma'am. And similarly, you have to close the letter by saying warm regards, your sincerely, your faithfully, depending on the type of the letter. Next is the formal requirement. You have to write between 50 and 120 words. Question में आपको mentioned है somewhere around 100 words. So you cannot write less than 50 and more than 120 words. Next is the organization of your email. email के जो paragraphs हैं, they should be well connected with each other और उनका जो सीधा सीधा logical connection है, that should be with the overall purpose of the email. So आपके paragraphs के बीच में you can use connectors to link them, but एक natural logical connection should be there. And next is the grammar, usage and mechanics. Your grammatical structures should be correct and you should depict your control, your consistent control over standard written English. Next is the vocabulary. आपकी जो vocabulary है वो topic specific होनी चाहिए, मतलब जो topic है, जो question जो से related या situation से related words हैं, you should use them when writing your email. And finally the spelling, your spelling should be correct. If you write wrong spelling, you lose marks. और आपको single style use करना है. That means अगर आप British English में लिख रहे हो email, तो उसी के आपने जो spellings हैं वो follow करने हैं. You cannot mix American and British English. Now let's see the sample answer. It's there in front of you on the screen. Dear Sir/Ma'am, this email is to bring to your notice the rising traffic congestion problem in Windsor Colony. So we have opened this letter by saying, Dear Sir/Ma'am, this is the opening salutation, then there is a purpose of the email, and then we have referred to all the bullet points in the subsequent paragraphs. The situation is getting worse day by day, especially around block A and B. So यहाँ पे हमने first paragraph की explanation दी है जहाँ question था location affected. Next bullet point was reasons. So second paragraph contains a reason and it begins with the correct vocabulary, that is the reason behind this congestion. Finally, the suggestions. Therefore, I request you to address this pressing issue. So यहाँ पे suggestions mentioned है. So all these bullet points have been covered in this particular email. And finally, the closing sentence, hoping for a prompt action, and yours faithfully, Emily Brown. So this way you have to open and close the email very carefully depending on the tone of the email or the purpose of the email. So I hope email writing is clear to you. For more tips and strategies and other question types, more sample answers, keep watching our videos, keep following Saviour Education Abroad, and like and subscribe our channel. Thank you for watching.